When there's 4 kids screaming in my head every day and whatever, and I'm feeling like I want to jump through the window, I can't blame anyone but myself. You know what I'm saying? Who told me? Who told me?
When these things happen and it gets messy like this or whatever else it is, people don't realise they're writing their name in people's trauma books or in their child's trauma books. That's what I call it. Because again, it happens and people don't realise these children are never going to forget these things. If your mum and dad were beefing and shouting and screaming, even if it was just for a short period of time, maybe it'd been 1 year out of your life or whatever else it is, you're definitely going to remember it. If you was 4, 5, 6, 7 or 15, it's something that you'll always remember. And again, unfortunately for me, I'm pretty sure there's some things that my son has heard or probably seen that he will never, ever forget, unfortunately. But again, it's just for me to understand that, again, it's the message, innit? As long as me and the mummy's got the same message, then we're good, man. That's all it can be.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking as well? All of my children have... 3 out of the 4 of my children have been born out of wedlock, yeah? And before, when I was younger, and I heard a lot of people going on about, get married before you have children. Get married, I thought they were just like, oh, whatever, you're judging me, you don't know anything about me kind of thing. I'm not here to hear none of that. But when I actually, at the age I am now, I think about it, and I think, those things are in place for a reason, I think. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, in the ideal world, if everyone could get married before they have children, I'm not preaching this because I'm not by no means a person that's taken that route. But if everyone did, then it kind of makes you commit to being serious first before you bring a child into the world. Before you can, although people can get divorced, it's not just as easy as just walking out the door. It kind of puts a level of responsibility on you to say, you know what? You need to be responsible for you two first before you bring anyone else into this world. And I feel as I've been thinking today, if I could say to my son, if he come and ask me what is my advice when he gets to a certain age, I would probably say to him, you know what, son, it might be worth you waiting until you're married to have kids. If it doesn't happen, who am I to say anything? Because I didn't do it. I can only advise you, but it might be worth it.
Yeah, there's a level of commitment. I think that's what it is. It's a level of commitment to one another, and hopefully what follows that is the ongoing and greater respect for one another, and therefore it makes sense. The North Star is almost there permanently, or you're both traveling towards it. There has to be a responsibility. Like we said, some people are in relationships beforehand and they split, and some people were never in a relationship. I think we also have to kind of touch on a bit, though, the responsibility. Men can't have the children, right? So there is a responsibility on the women also, that actually you are by default entering into a co-parenting situation. If you choose to have a child with someone that you don't quite know, actually you don't know anything about them, and what might follow may not be the fairy tale ending. And by fairy tale ending, I mean having a responsible co-parent. You may have someone who just walks away, quite frankly, and says, I don't want to be part of this. Or actually, you may end up finding you never actually knew that person properly at all. And I think there needs to be a bit more onus on, look, it takes 2 to tango. We know that. But in terms of the decision to carry on a child, right, to have a child, to go through the pregnancy, I think there's only so much a man can really do. And actually, I think just if more women in some of these situations understood that you are going to make a co-parent, you're going into this type of life, things may change for the better, and you may end up getting together, or you may end up staying together. Fine, but I think there needs to be a bit more responsibility on it. I just think it's an area that most people don't want to touch on or talk about because it's a bit touchy. But the responsibility, I feel, is on you are going to be making this situation. Do you know who you're going to be dealing with? Do you know if this person's even going to communicate with you properly?
Yeah, and I think it's just unfortunate. Again, in some situations, I think people just make the decision based on the fact that regardless of the kind of person you will be, or some women, again, make the decision, not all, but some, make the decision that regardless of the person you're going to be, if you're going to step up to the plate or not. I've got a job to do. Do you know what I mean? Or this is what I want for me, regardless of, do you know what I mean? There's selfishness in it when you think about it. But again, like, I'm not talking about how the person feels about the man or whatever else it is, but you've automatically made the decision that your child is going to come into this world having to do the broken home thing and whichever else it is and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but I think,
so, again, there's the responsibilities for both.
I hear you 100% on that, and I'm all about accountability for me. You know, I would say I'm lucky in a sense that I'm with someone who, let's say everything turned out all right in the end. We were gone through our struggles, you know, but everything's turned out all right. But I see a lot of men and women sometimes complaining about their partners almost as like they didn't pick them, almost as like someone almost blindfolded them and said, "Here you go," like, you know, and all of a sudden you're pregnant. That's how and it's like, do you know what? No matter how young we are when you've had children, no matter how whatever we all have to kind of just take accountability for the situation that we're in. And I feel like no one is gonna pick a father for their child or a mother for their child knowing that they're gonna be a certain type of way. If you knew if it was written on the tin before you bought it, you wouldn't buy it, would you? But it's like almost like, how did you pick that person though? Did you pick that person? What characteristics did you pick that person off? How did that person turn into having a child with you? And everyone's entitled to what they like and the kind of people they go for. But if you're in a situation where it doesn't turn out right, you have to. The problem doesn't boil down to, oh, there's not enough good men in the world. Oh, there's not enough good women in the world. It boils down to the decision that you made for yourself at the end of the day and who you chose to have the baby with, and that's it. And you know that when you take that accountability, then life is much easier because you're not blaming everyone. You're not feeling like you're hard done by. You're like, all right, cool. I made the decision. Cool, whatever. Yeah, it's up to me. It's my responsibility. When there's 4 kids screaming in my head every day and whatever, and I'm feeling like I want to jump through the window, I'm not blaming. I can't blame anyone but myself. You know what I'm saying? Who told me? Who told me though? It's on me.
That's a you problem.
It's on me. Like me and Stuart will go back and forth and I have my little complaining moments, whatever. You vent, innit? You vent sometimes, but in the grand scheme of things, I have to look at myself and say, boy, that was your decision, bro. Your decision to go and have those 4 children. So here, what now? Well, you see when you're stressed and you're pulling your hair out, that's you. I'm saying, obviously everyone has different problems.
It's true. You know, the funny thing about this is, these men were laughing at me when I had my little one pick-me changing in the car and all of that. Talking about could have never been me. These men now got 4. I'm still on my one pick-me, you know.
Hey, listen, I swear, till this day, I mean, you put side on me, bro. You put side on me. I met that guy at the bed laughing at me and that. It's all right, bro.
It's true. It's when my man announced that he was having picnic, bro. I cried for time. I cried for him laughter for time, but I said, yes, man. All them years that were laughing at me, hearing me cussing on the phone, having to change nappy. I think, man, let me go Tesco quickly and get more nappies and wipes and all of that. Man, they were stressing me out. You see now? I'm better. I'm going to pick me, you know.
Come up and
it's real. And
trust me.
That's what I'm saying. That, you know, I would never. The thing is, all jokes aside, I would never change it for the world. Like, those 4 children have put me in a position where I've had to be accountable. Regardless, there's no getting out of it. You have to man up. You have to level up. That's it. And that's what I'm saying. But as I said, when it's time to complain, I've only got myself to complain to because I mapped out my own life at the end of the day. Whether it was an accident or not, I mapped out my own life. So
and this works both ways, right? As well, you know, it's also, you said, you know, the partner you're picking. This is a shout. This is honestly a direct talk to the men as well. You know, the girl might look crazy. You know, she might be that kind of fiery energy that you like, something spicy, all good. But I tell you what, this is also the person you're potentially picking. You know, we've all got choices, and you've got to be, I think, in the game of messing around, being a bit irresponsible. Yeah, a child can result from that. You know, and if this is not what you're trying to deal with, have a bit of a think about it. We've all been young. Yeah, we've all been young, and we all want fun at some point. Yeah, but I think if you're going to be grown up about it, you've got to be responsible about the type of the partner that you're picking, and it's really important. Don't think you know them. Sometimes how they've acted, they've shown you all their cards. Don't act surprised.
Listen,
don't act surprised.
It's a matter of fact that most of us see the red flags way before, but we choose to ignore them, and that's on us.